Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. Welcome to another session under your Toppers Talk for RBI Grade B. So guys, today I have with me Mr. Prateek. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Prateek.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. So guys, I'll just give a brief introduction. Mr. Prateek has a wide experience, right? He will tell him about himself. As I explain, he will do, but I'll just quickly tell you that he has been selected as RBI Grade B officer in the year 2021. While he got selected, he is now currently working as RBI assistant. So he got selected in July 2021 for RBI assistant post, and he is now also selected in RBI as Grade B officer. Earlier, he has wide experience ranging from civil services examination to state civil services, right, and other banking examinations. So this is just a glimpse of what his experience is. Mr. Prateek, we will request you to elaborate more about your experience and your background.
Yes, ma'am. As you said, I passed mechanical engineering in 2014 from MIT College, Pune. And then while preparing for civil services, I also completed MA in political science. And I also cleared a junior research fellowship also, SET NET exams and junior research fellowship. Parallelly, I was also visiting faculty for civil services aptitude test. So that helped me for phase 1 preparation actually. As I was teaching, so all the basic concepts and accuracy, speed, time, I had already done those things. And then I was also writing in weeklies and magazines. So that practice also helped me a lot during this course while preparing and all, weeklies, magazines. And in 2017, the Sakar Publications, it's very renowned publication in Maharashtra. They also published one book related to the current happenings in that year, like yearbook they had published. So that experience also helped me very much during my preparation. So after preparing for civil service, state civil services, then after giving mains and all, I thought, why not shift to banking services, banking jobs and all, because my aptitude was good. And then in 2019, I started giving all the exams related to banking, LIC, IBPS, and other exams. And then because of COVID, everything was delayed. The results were delayed. Joining was delayed. Then in 2020, I started preparing for Grade B. Seriously, from EduTap course only I started reading the content and then summary sheets and everything. And along with, I had also given RBI assistant, as you told. I have recently joined in July 2021 only as RBI assistant. I am now working, and interviews happened after I joined RBI assistant. So that was also a good age for me during interview, the confidence booster, we can say. And now here I am.
Rest is history, I would say. Started from civil services preparation to then being a faculty, working for like content curation, I can say. Like you work for publishing houses, you prepared banking examinations, and finally as grade B officer. Prateek, are you happy, like satisfied now? Chalo, now I am fine, happy with the post I've got.
Satisfied is a very big word. Yes, I am surely happy. I am happy for me, for everyone who supported me. Satisfaction we'll see after I start doing job. Then only I can say.
True. But as of with our experience, as per our discussions with the people who are working already, who have got selected, they are like, they have this feeling when they join that probably we will again go for UPSC attempt. But when they're in job, they feel, nahi, fine, nahi, theek hai. So you also will have your own experience when you join.
Yes, I am also sensing that now. For 2 months, I am working in RBI. RBI is a very, very good organization to work.
Nice. So, see, I would like to ask one question here. See, UPSC is a very popular exam. We all know. Then state civil services is also in line with your UPSC. So that also people usually preparing for UPSC go for that exam. Banking, as you said, you switch to banking then, but RBI, Grade B is not a very popular exam.
Yes.
So how did you come to know about this exam?
Through friends only. Mostly my seniors who were preparing for UPSC, some of them had shifted to banking and then given grade B. But one thing I knew that I had to be focused on civil services when I was giving exams. Once I decided that this year I'll take a break, I won't go for civil services. I had idea about through friends only, and then only I shifted to grade B, like in 2020, as I said. And then I took guidance from those who had given interviews in for 2019 exams. My friend Sushant, he guided me. He only told me like refer EduTap. It covers all the syllabus, and from him I took some guidance like what should I prepare, what should I read at first, like the order. Like he said, start with management, finance, start reading newspaper, the EduTap monthly and all. How to read EduTap monthly, and like that only. Then once I got familiar with how to study, then I did afterwards myself.
That is also very interesting to know. How did you start? Because you told that the earlier attempt of 2019 was not that serious. You just appeared because you were appearing in other exams also. Finally, one serious attempt and you are through.
Yes,
so,
yes, ma'am.
What we will be interested to know is, let's start with this only, that how, because you did not know about RBI much, the exam pattern. So as the guidance you got from your friends, and we believe that helped you, that is why you are today here. So we would like you to share those things which you did at the starting of your preparation, when you decided that, okay, now I'll prepare seriously for RBI.
Okay. See, it's like keep it simple approach I took. Like in EduTap, everything is in course, everything is very simple. They have given syllabus wise topics and all. So what I did, I first read syllabus. First thing first, you have to read syllabus, and then I analyze the previous year question papers, like how much static they are asking, how much current they are asking, and then I personally did the whole analysis, like what kind of questions, what depth they are going in while asking questions, which areas they are covering in ESI. Finance management, I had no much idea about finance management, so that analysis was not very helpful. But ESI and English, I could understand what's there in question paper analysis. And then once I started reading the course, like syllabus wise, at start what I used to do is, and I followed it afterwards also, after reading the content sheet, like the whole chapter, then I used to read the summary sheet, and whatever part which I feel is very difficult for me, not necessarily it will be difficult for everyone, or something additional value additions, I used to write it in that summary sheet only. We can edit the PDFs and all. So for example, if I'm studying bonds, then if there are some kinds of bond which are not mentioned in content sheet, or I am not I'm not getting the concept actually, then I used to write there like I have to revise this part, I have to Google this part afterwards, like that. So my like the purpose of doing this was I didn't want to go to read each and everything again. From summary sheet only I can do the revision afterwards. That was my purpose. So for each syllabus point, I had the summary sheet, and afterwards I had also created one Word document where I had written only the keywords, like types of bonds. For example, this band, zero coupon bond. Then there are some rules like relations, bond, interest rate, yield, like value, bond price. There are some interrelations. So only the titles. So the purpose was, if I join any job afterwards, I knew I would not get much time to read each and everything. So on one page, you can summarize the whole chapter. So just by looking at the words, I'll memorize it in my mind. If I'm traveling, if I'm doing job or anything like that, I had shared it with my friends also. So for each chapter, I had done like this. And then by one, the COVID was there, lockdown was there. So I had enough time. I was at home only. So July, August, during those times, I did my first readings. And for EduTap monthly, what I used to do is I had created one Excel sheet, and it is also not feasible to read all the monthlies just before exam, just because after 6 March there was prelims and 1st April there was mains. I knew that there is no much time during that time, that gap. So what I had done is, for example, there is some news, I think it is important. Then what I used to do is I used to put it in question answer format. So I used to do 2 columns on Excel sheet. On left side, I used to write a question. Right side, answer. For example, there is some scheme. Then on left side, I will write ministry. Right side, which ministry. Then which year the scheme got launched. Then year. And like that, I used to write what is the purpose of the scheme for like that. So my purpose of doing this was like, after it was better for revision also, and after one point I'll not see the second column of answers. While revising, I'll only read the left side, and that way I'll get, because before, like in 2019 pattern, they used to ask like years also, the ministries also, like static part. uh, so like that I had done for monthlies, EduTap monthly, because I was feeling that I can't remember all those stats and everything. So I pressed on that. And if we do such exercise, then one thing I observed, that you understand it very thoroughly, deeply. It's not like just you are going on reading and reading. You are doing some modification, some exercise on it. Then it's like inherited inside you like that. So it helped me a lot, that practice for current affairs. And finance management, it's your notes are very self-explanatory actually, EduTap notes. I didn't watch video for each and every chapter. Wherever only I feel there is a need in management, some part you can get confused, so there only I watch videos or googled it on YouTube. Otherwise everything is self-explanatory. I didn't have to do anything separately.
Okay, so like what I understood from the explanation that you have given is that first of all, if you're starting for the preparation, you should analyze the previous year papers and see the syllabus so that you can understand the requirement of the examination.
Yes.
Then you said that you like had the source you refer to EduTap course. So after you are done with the syllabus, previous year questions, identify your sources.
Yes.
And then you have done a lot of hard work that from your methodology we can sense, because making like short notes, we always recommend this. As you said, it is quite useful in your revision. You cannot always go to the summary sheet, content sheet, or whatever source you have. You have to like, you have something to revise easily. So that you did for FM. And the same thing you followed for your ESI also. Like, because current affairs are majorly for ESI, right?
Yes.
Phase 2. Even phase 1 GA is current affairs, which includes ESI current affairs. So, Prateek, I have a question here. See, as you refer to EduTap's magazine, now that magazine is quite, comprehensive. It covers many, many news. So you used to, like, as you said, 2 columns, question and answer. So for each and every news, you used to make that, or just for the, like, let's say, most important news, which you felt that this is important?
Yes, yes. Only those news which I feel are important, and there is a content which can be asked in exam. Only those news. See, first part is GA, like that I didn't do anything. GA part, which is applicable for prelims, and then you give separate for ESI and FM, the separate news. So in ESI, you like, for in first month one may not get what is important and what is not, but after second third month you start getting that this can be asked in exam. Everything is important, like it's like everything is necessary but nothing is mandatory type. So I had to do that filtering for my own purpose, because I couldn't read each and everything before exam. And because of question paper analysis, I got the idea, yes, this is important. And because of civil services preparation also, I had that rough idea what is important for exam, what is important for like current affairs and what is not, like that.
Generally what is more important, and especially after you see the syllabus, you get more like seeing the papers, you get a fair idea. Okay, acha, this exam is focusing here. So
Yes.
Excel sheet, this is a very good idea which you have given, that because people find it difficult to revise the same thing again and again. So better is make your like short questions. You said one-liner questions you made. It's easy to revise also.
Yes, and after second revision, you are not supposed to see the right column, the answers column. Hide it and just read the questions and see if you can answer or not. And if in third revision also you are not able to answer something, just mark it red or something like that. Just change the color, and then afterwards revise that part only which you were not able to memorize before. So time
And
saving.
how many months of current affairs did you prepare for ESI and finance? GA we can like, we'll discuss later about phase 1, but phase 2 especially, both ESI and finance.
Actually, during July, August, there was notion that the notification may come anytime and exam will happen in November and December. So I had started since April only, the EduTap monthly and Affairs Cloud. Both those the two sources I was referring. Affairs Cloud daily PDFs and EduTap for monthly. And then afterwards, I got to know that the notification is not coming soon and there is no exam. And then there was my RBI assistant exam also in November. So for 2 months, I stopped the study during that time. And then afterwards, I covered. But I personally think 6 months current affairs is more than enough for exam. I started since April, but before exam, 6 months is more than enough. Before phase 1 exam prelims.
So as I requested earlier, Prateek, that we will try to have another session of yours for RBI assistant candidates also, so that you can share your knowledge with the candidates who are aspiring for that exam.
Surely, surely.
Thank you so much. So, okay, this is about like very well you have started that how to start your preparation, and then coverage also you have told. But this time the exam was descriptive.
Yes.
So like, what did you do extra apart from objective questions? ESI is majorly about current affairs. FM is majorly static. So what extra effort did you put in for the descriptive questions?
I didn't do anything. And I don't want aspirants to get misled by this statement that I didn't do anything. Because for last 4 years, I was writing in weeklies and magazines. So there I was writing articles and all. It's like, that was my practice only for this exam. So particularly after January, once the notification came, then I didn't do anything for subjective part. But the last 4 5 years, the writing in weeklies and magazines, for example, if there is some issue going on, then I'm writing an article in 700 to 800 words in the magazine. So that was my practice only. I already had that idea ki how should I structure my answer, like introduction, main body, like pros, cons, solution, conclusion. So I had that in my practice. And during the writing for book, that time also I had exercised a lot on writing and all. So that practice I had. So I don't want students to get misled from my interview that okay, kuch nahi kiya to bhi chalta hai. No, it's not like that. So one thing I can suggest is like daily newspaper reading is must. One has to read newspaper. If not till phase 2, for interview it's must. Without newspaper, you may not clear interview. So one can do exercise like if there is 1,000 words, one article editorial, one can start writing the summary of that article in his or her own words. And that is the practice. That's how it starts. And related to grammar and how one should articulate the sentences and all, I think aspirants should not worry much about it. They should just write in Grammarly or simple Word or any Gmail. There they get the mistakes. Software highlights the mistakes, and it improves over the course of the time. It doesn't improve within 1 week or within 1 month. So about that, aspirant shouldn't worry like if my sentence framing, if my grammar is right or not. Structure part, I think they can take like guidance from teachers like you, how should we structure. And if they study properly, by the end of the preparation, they get it. So aspirants shouldn't worry much about the part. They should worry about understanding the concept and understanding the subject at start.
So, like, what points, the highlights I can take is that first, knowledge you should have, content you should have. If you haven't covered your syllabus well, if you haven't read properly, obviously you will have less of information, right?
Yes.
Once you have you have gone through your syllabus, you know the content, then ample of practice is required to structure down the things properly. So here I would request one thing to you, Prateek, anything like taking any example, because you, as you said, you had the experience of your earlier experience also of for working for like publishing house or your article writing. So any one topic or any one question you can remember, okay, this was the question and this is the way I used, like these are the points I used to write an answer, so that students can get an idea, because people are afraid of answer writing, especially those who do not have UPSC background. They will get this idea, okay, acha, this way we can somewhere write the answer. Anything which you can recall.
Now I can remember the recent speech by Deputy Governor on CBDC, central bank backed digital currency. So wait, give me just few seconds. So CBDC, like if the question comes like, what is CBDC? What are the pros and cons? Like write a short note on CBDC, like that. So if you have read the speech of the Deputy Governor, if you have read the editorials which come in daily newspapers, at first you have more than enough data, because in exam you have to write either 400 words or 600 words. The question the aspirant will have is like, what should I write and what should I not? There is more than enough data. First of all, if one is serious aspirant and one is studying properly, provided, then first of all, the introduction should be like, what is CBDC? Like explain what is CBDC in very crisp words. If we see in that speech, they have explained it in one sentence. What is CBDC? Like it is just like money, other currency, a legal tender, but in a digital form, like that. So one thing I observed, like during phase 2 exam, my answers were very short, but they were crisp. Like I didn't write, I didn't keep beating around the bush. I wrote only the what I felt is necessary for the exam, what is the demand for the question. So one should not write what they have not asked, write only what they have asked. No, like from my experience only for finance and management, I had written many answers in 400 words answers in 200 words only, and 600 words answers in around 300 words only. Like 50% words only I had covered, but I have good marks in finance and management. So it's not about length of what you write, it's more about what you write. So in CBDC, I said like introduction part, what is CBDC, explain. Then if the question demands what are the pros and cons of CBDC, write pros and cons of CBDC. Okay. If the question is demanding how it will be launched and how it will people will start using it, like centralized ledger, distributed ledger, interest rate, no interest rate, like that. If they have asked about the future prospectus of CBDC, then write on that. There is no point in if they have asked technical things, there is no point in writing what other countries have done. If they are asking future prospectus, then give examples what Vietnam is doing, what other USA is doing, what France is doing, what Australia is doing, then only. So if you have so much content, then only you can tell what is important and what is not important. If you do not have content, of course you will go and write what you know. So people go and say that I wrote 500 words, I wrote 400 words, 600 words, still they do not get marks. The reason is that they're not writing what they are supposed to write. They are writing about the topic that is happening. They will write about CBDC only, but that was not the demand of the question. That's there. And the part I said, like introduction, body, if there are problems, then state the problems. If there is solution, state the solutions, and then conclusionary part. What is your opinion? What you think? Like in short, 1-2 lines, like that.
So that was quite insightful, I would say, because this example which you gave has informed us that you should cater to the demand of the question, like write what they want to know, not what you know about that topic. Because to fill the like word limit, what students do is whatever they have read about that CBDC, they'll keep that keyword in mind and write everything related to CBDC.
Yes.
If you want to fetch marks, go for the requirement of the question that has been asked, right?
Yes.
And of course, as you said earlier, that knowledge you have to have. For that, you have to have reading, revision is to be done, your syllabus is to be covered thorough.
Yes.
And then practice can be done of writing, like editorials you gave the example. Even for that matter, as you gave the example of 1-page summary notes, that is also kind of structure giving only for your revision.
For people who are doing job, it is very helpful because they can't go and keep reading all the content sheets again and again. While doing job also, they can revise, like one A4 size sheet they can keep anywhere and keep looking at it and keep revising things in mind. One does not need to have laptop or book in front of person.
Right.
Yes.
So we have had a lot of discussion about your phase 2 preparation. So some quick pointers about phase, like phase 1 also for your QRE and GA also. Like QRE, you said you personally had a lot of knowledge. You were teaching actually the QRE. That might have helped you. But what tips will you like to give to the students for phase 1 paper?
Okay, here I'll actually talk as if I'm faculty only, because as an aspirant and student, I am not the right person to tell. For quant, I will say those who find quant very difficult, they should start with the basics. There is no shame in starting from the 4th, 5th standard books also, maths books, because many people I see, they have the problems in basics only. They do not know the BODMAS rule. From there they start. They do not have they do not know tables. So one can't expect the speedy answers and the speedy calculations from them. So one should go to the basics. Like I'll explain it in 3 parts, like concept. One should know the basic concept first. Like what is the concept? Speed, time, distance. What is speed? What is time? What is work? How it works actually, everything. So they should concentrate on concept first. Once they understand the concept, then they should go for accuracy. Like if they are solving something, the answer should be accurate. In quant, I see people say they have solved 20 questions, 25 questions, and they are getting 5 marks. So it means they didn't get the answer because there are like 4 or 5 options. If you are right, you will get the option. Your answer is in the option. So they are attempting 20 questions and getting 5 marks means something is wrong. Accuracy is not there. Okay. So second thing, after basic concept, they should go for accuracy, and then they should go for like less time. Once you practice, time automatically reduces. Like one need not worry about time afterwards. More and more mock tests you give, more and more practice is there, time automatically get reduces for every example. And it applies for reasoning also, English also. Basic concept, accuracy, and then time. In 3 parts, they should prepare any topic they think which is important for exam. And if some topic is very, very difficult, they can skip it also. Like we are not supposed to score out of marks in this exam. Okay, this is for quant. Reasoning also same thing. In reasoning, there are 2 parts, like puzzle and non-puzzle. So non-puzzle topics, all the topics which you find convenient, you can practice more and more on that. Puzzles one has to practice. There is no option for puzzles. So puzzles practice and practice only, and one can do search YouTube videos and all, or your course videos also how to solve puzzles. English is something which one can't learn in 1 month. English, you have to keep reading, keep improving your grammar, keep improving your vocabulary, and understanding what you read, which is supposed to be like expected from aspirant from comprehension, and it applies everywhere in phase 2 preparation also. Comprehension, what understanding what you're reading. This is for quant, reasoning, English. One can see which topic they are weak in. They can watch more and more videos on YouTube, see if there is any other method which they can apply. But one thing is there, basic concept one can't skip. Basic concept you have to learn. Without learning basic concept, you won't, like, those shortcut formulas are of no use. These are for three things. For we are talking about phase 1, so I'll tell about GA also. Since this year they have changed the pattern of the questions they asked in GA. Like, yes, the syllabus is same, the areas they are touching are also same, but the questions are in depth, and 25 minutes are not enough to read 80 questions also, like that the GA paper was there. So one should know what is important. And after phase 2 in preparation, after phase 2 result, when I started interview preparation, that time I got to know most of the questions were from economic survey, budget, annual reports, financial stability report, trends and progress in banking India reports. From reports there are most of the questions, and daily newspaper reading also there are most of the questions. So maybe they want to explore more, the paper setters want to explore more and go in depth, because you also know, like, it's not the exam of rote learning, the RBI Grade B. It is mostly conceptual and knowledge based exam. So that maybe they wanted to bring in phase 1 also, general awareness. So should aspirant should uh, focus on that part also, like the daily newspaper also, and what is in trend, like what's there. Like, for example, in digital payments, one should be able to tell that uh, payment infrastructure and development fund, self-regulatory organization. Now e-rupee was there in news. Such things are in trend. It's not actually very difficult to tell what is important for exam. Once you start studying, after 1-2 months, you only get, if something is repeated again and again in newspaper, it is important. It's that simple.
So basically, the example you gave of let's talk about GA, like as you gave the example of reports, the newspaper reading. So the idea is that if you're doing the preparation of phase 2, phase 1 in an integrated manner, if you just think that I'll read 3 months of magazine and go, it won't work now. This is what this exam has told us. You have to have understanding of the important things that you will get through. Like if you're reading daily, if you have seen the papers earlier, if you know that what your syllabus touches the things, so that
Yes.
will be required. And now, as you said, the type of questions, schemes, for example, were asked, statement-based schemes were asked. So if you have prepared that scheme thoroughly, keeping in mind phase 2 also, then you could have answered it.
Yes.
And anyhow, no one is expecting you to like bring 80 on 80. That is not even feasible, as you said. So
Yes.
just do your preparation for phase 2 and phase 1 together with the understanding. And for QRE, a very important point, I remember you gave 3 steps for quant. You said that the basics should be clear, then your accuracy should be there, then you must work on your time. Right?
Yes.
That will really help the candidates that follow this. This is coming from a faculty, not from a student. Right? So quant reasoning, you have to have the basics clear and then your practice will work. And for English, as you said, you cannot learn English and book. You have to be acquainted with the language. So
Yes.
you mentioned newspaper reading again and again. So would you like to suggest any newspaper for the students to start with?
It again differs from individual to individual. If you are very good at English, then you can go for Business Standard and Mint also. But I personally used to read Financial Express, because before I used to read Indian Express, so I was acquainted with that language. Every newspaper has its own language. So Financial Express I used to read, and apart from that, Mint I read for some time, but then they started asking for subscription, so I discontinued the Mint.
They do this.
Yes. Financial Express is free of cost, e-paper, and it has more than enough data, more than enough
And I have
articles.
seen they even use very lucid language, just like Indian Express. They follow the like very in a simple language. They'll explain a lot of things.
Yes, yes. I personally feel which newspaper you are reading doesn't matter much. Like if you are reading it properly, if you are reading one news, no problem, but read it properly, understand the news, and don't forget it after 1 month. It's that basic. Like I know students read the newspaper, and if you ask what you read 2-3 days before, they just forget it. So that's why that practice of I said, like if you're reading editorial, write the crisp summary of in your own words, write or type, whatever is convenient for you. Mostly type, and that would help. That helps a lot for English also, for English descriptive also, for your note making also, and then you can keep adding, because articles keep coming if the topic is important. The value addition to that topic, it's important, and it helps a lot after phase one, like when you are appearing for phase two. It helps a lot.
Even for interview, as you said.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because you have understood the topic thoroughly. So if in interview they ask you anything, you can answer, and if they ask any other questions, you can link this there. So the linking is also important, like two topics you are linking, and if it is in your muscle memory, then only it will reflect in interview. Otherwise, it doesn't reflect.
So pick any newspaper, but make sure that you read it for the purpose of understanding, not just for the like purpose of reading. I am reading newspaper daily, right?
Yes.
To understand what it is written there, why is it relevant. You can pick any newspaper. Yes, you mentioned newspapers rightly. Business Standard, Live Mint, The Hindu, Indian Express, whatever you feel, you can go for it.
Yes.
So we have taken a lot of your time, Mr. Prateek, but few like it has been a very, I would say, insightful session. Students will definitely get a lot of things to understand for the exam. So talking about your interview,
Yes.
how was the interview? How did you like? How did it go?
Interview, I personally was not happy after my interview, because I thought I could do better. Everyone feels like that. Like one can do better. So I was not happy. I had PP Joshi sir panel, and there are 5 members in panel, 2 females, 3 males. And once like I went in, and I was expecting questions from my biodata, which didn't happen. Whatever I had expected, they didn't ask anything. So they right away started with technical questions like why should we regulate banks? Why government is not doing that? Why RBI is doing it? And then IMF, Basel, systematically important banks, DICGC, blue economy. Blue economy is related to C's. And then the insolvency, bankruptcy. All the questions were technical, nothing personal, nothing from my biodata they asked. Maybe I had filled the biodata very carefully. That may be the reason they didn't ask anything from that. And what one thing I felt is that just after interview, that I could elaborate more and more on those topics, which answers which I gave very short. But afterwards, when I did introspection, one thing I think is which may have worked, because I got 53 marks out of 75, which is not good, but which is not bad also. That I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't say anything which was not asked. Wherever I was not aware, like for systematically important banks, they asked me international level everything. So that I was not aware of. So I said, no, sir, I don't know. And whatever I could get the exact answer for the question, that only I gave. So that may have worked. I'm not saying that word, that may have worked there. But I think I could have done better. Like I could elaborate more and more. And that's why one needs to do all that exercise of note making and all. Then only the one word you say is like muscle memory. It has to be in your muscle memory. Then only it will reflect there.
So you feel that interview, as you said, everyone feels that I could have done better. But anyhow, you are selected now, so that worked, everything, it seems there, whatever happened. So again, the highlights of your interview, the things that you shared were that, as you said, you worked on your biodata. So you should be ready with your biodata questions, which you were actually, although they did not ask, but you should be ready. Fill your
Yes.
form carefully, be ready with your biodata and everything, profile that you're mentioning. Second is your technical knowledge. That is whatever you are reading through, like your preparation, phase 1, phase 2, में जो भी पढ़ा है, syllabus से related everything, वो भी tips पे रहना चाहिए. And third, what I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong. Third is your about the organization, about RBI. What is it? All the like RBI website basically. This is what I've got to know from the candidates. Is this you'll suggest?
Yes, yes. Whatever you said, everything is right. I will just add a few things. Like first of all, after phase 2 result, after phase 1 result, they ask you to fill the biodata form. And many of the aspirants do not know that this biodata form only is going to be used for your interview. So those who are watching this video, I'll urge them, ask them to fill that biodata form very thoroughly and very carefully. Like if you have to consult your faculties, teachers, or the senior friends, then consult them and then only fill that biodata form. After phase 2 result, as you said that one should know about the organization also, there is one PDF, RBI functions and working, which is more than enough, Everything is in there in that PDF. And there is then RBI annual report also. RBI annual report also explains thoroughly about RBI working and what is happening in last 1 year. So these two documents are more than enough to know about RBI. Then comes the RBI website. So for aspirants who are like going for the exam for the next attempt, for them that is fine. Okay, they can they go through the website daily or once in a week. What is new, they can read. But after interview, it is not possible to go through the whole website and all the notifications, all the publications of the RBI. So that time they can read only what is important from their biodata perspective. Someone is coming from banking background and they have worked in supervision or something like that, regional offices related to their work, they can read. Because after interview, that this time because of COVID there was enough time, but otherwise next time we don't know if there will be time or not. So students should start reading RBI website from now only. Afterwards, after phase 2, only read what is important, what is in news. Each and everything one can't read. And RBI functions and working, I told. The RBI annual report, I told. Apart from that, there are other reports also. Financial stability report, trends and progress in banking in India, that report. And if any report which has been published during that time, if any other report. Economic survey is also important. Finance commission report is also important. The first also, second also. Both the, like each and every report is important, because I have seen students were asked, have you read the report? Don't tell me you have read summary. You are supposed to read the report. You had enough time. Why didn't you read the report? Like that. And apart from this, the daily newspaper. Daily newspaper is must. And if one is doing all these things, they will automatically know what is important for exam and what they may ask in exam. In phase 1 also, in phase 1 GA also, and phase 2 also. If one does this.
So I think a lot of things, a lot of important things you have shared for interview, right?
Yes.
So RBI website, students can start right away. They're preparing for the RBI 22. And rest other things, you have shared your sources, right? What all did you prepare? Achha, one thing, last thing I have, just I forgot in between. You mentioned about EduTap's monthly magazine, FM static you covered. But what about the government schemes? How did you prepare? That is again like it's not that important as it is for NABARD, let's say. NABARD is also conducting exam for grade A post, but in RBI also we cannot say that you skip these schemes and do. So how did you prepare?
So for government schemes also, there is one EduTap document. All the government schemes are covered. So my strategy was that I will not do anything before 2014, because there was government change in 2014. So I had decided many more schemes. Questions are also asked after 2014 on schemes after 2014 only. So there may be one question which is from 2006 or 2005 scheme. But I had decided instead of studying the schemes from 1998, 1999, I will read schemes which have been launched after 2014, and I'll revise them twice or thrice instead of studying what happened in 2005. So I was ready to lose that 1 mark for getting extra marks for these schemes. And in phase 2 exams, we can see if 2014 only schemes related questions. So that is one thing. So EduTap PDF is more than enough. And if you have to add like value addition, like Jan Dhan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, every time there are new statistics, how many accounts are opened, female proportion, male proportion, how many accounts are working, what is the amount being deposited in those accounts and all. That keeps getting updated. So that is updated from EduTap monthly also. In Affairs Cloud also I was reading that time. So in Affairs Cloud also, all the schemes are covered. Like if there is news related to some Hriday scheme, Smart City scheme, Amrut scheme, then at the end of the news they write when it was launched, who launched it, and in brief, in 1-2 sentences, what is the scheme. So from there it was being revised again and again, again and again. So from there I covered schemes part.
Thank you so much for sharing all your sources. Thank you for sharing the insightful information you have done in a very positive manner. You have told us all the things that one needs to do for this examination.
Yes,
And
yes.
Mr. Prateek, we would like to wish you all the best for your career ahead in RBI. And we hope you'll do really well there.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are really glad EduTap, being the part of EduTap, I feel really happy that students like you who have used the material and now are able to make it. So we are really happy about that.
Yes, and I'm suggesting also people that subscribe EduTap.
Thank you.
The content is actually self-explanatory. Like it seems like self-explanatory are like very 2 words, just small words, but preparing the material which is self-explanatory, while reading you feel like you are conversing with the teacher only. Such material, the content sheets are so self-explanatory. So that is very hard to make them, because I myself am content developer, so I know how difficult is it. Like you are reading from start to end and you feel like you know the topic, so that is very difficult to make such notes. So I personally like to appreciate those who made those efforts to make those summary
Thank you
sheets,
so
content
much.
sheets, quizzes, worksheets are also very nice.
We
Yeah.
will convey this. Our team will also be happy, and I hope our students will also get a lot of information. All the phases of the exam actually you have discussed with us.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you so much
And
for your time again.
yes, and one thing I like to tell aspirants that don't waste your energy on what will happen with the result. Most of the people start with, will I be able to clear? Then during preparation, they start with, will I be able to clear phase 1? Then phase 2. And then they invest most of their energy in what will happen with the result, what will happen with the result. They do not need to worry. If you have studied properly, you will go through. If you have not done, if it is not in you, you may not clear. It has to be inside you. You should deserve the post, because after phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like interview, it has to be in you. Like you should have given your sincere hard work somewhere at some point, if not in that year, sometime before 2 years before, somewhere. So aspirant should not worry much about it. And consistency is very, very important. You have to be consistent. The exam is not very tough. It is not something like out of the world. I will say it is not certain. There is uncertainty, but not related to UPSC civil services, not that much uncertainty. If you have prepared well, you will get clear like that. So don't worry about that uncertainty, and be persistent, be consistent, and it's very easy at the end then if you are consistent.
Very
Answers,
well
you will
said.
get answers by yourself only.
Very well said. So basically, if it is in you that you want to prepare, if you have put in hard work, you will get the result sooner or later.
Yes, yes.
So thank you again, and to the viewers of this channel, of this video particularly, I hope you found the session, the time you spent today, you found it really helpful and you will be able to utilize it really well. And drop your comments. How did you like the video? And thank you, Prateek, for your time again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best to you.
Yes, thank you. Good night, ma'am.